Executive Exponential Leader is an innovative podcast that invites C-suite leaders from different countries and sectors, sharing with our audience a journey full of incredible experiences, exponential potentials, and insightful visions about a sustainable future in times of exponential technology. Today's our episode is named Technology in the Growth of Indian Economy 2020-2030, and our prestigious guest is Manoj Kohli, the former CEO of Bharti Airtel, the former chairman of SoftBank Energy, and today the SoftBank India head with a unique business experience of 4 decades. Hi Manoj, welcome to the show.
Hi Lobna, how are you doing?
I'm very good. What about you?
I'm always good.
So in these casual discussions and more as an authentic conversation, we will address many topics. But before that, we are curious about this great experience of 4 decades, and we will start by your personal story. So Manoj, as many people in India, but in the world, know that you are one of the India's most respected business leaders with an extensive global experience of 4 decades in top leadership positions across a wide range of industry in India, Asia, so in large Asia, Africa, US, and Europe. And if you have to pick up 3 magic moments in such exponential business journey, what would be those exponential and magic moments?
There's so many moments, it's difficult to select. So I will complete 42 years this month, and I am blessed. God has been very, very kind to give me so many good opportunities. But you know, in real life, just like any other professional, I've gone through ups and downs. So there are successes and there are failures, and you have to get up and start running again after every failure. So, and that is the real moral of a successful and long-term sustainable success of life and career. So if you want me to select 3, first one, I can say that when I was early days of my career, I was building air conditioners, compressors in a joint venture with an American company from Detroit, close to Detroit, and we achieved all-time record production. And I personally, at that time, I was managing the factory, personally focused on spend time in the plants, worked with the workers. And that is when I felt that I can leverage my social skills, my people skills to really achieve greater performance. That was a great experience. Second experience, if I can say, is launching mobile internet services all over India, all over in 17 countries in Africa, 4G services, satellite television services, and those launches were very, very gratifying, because launching in services in very isolated places in Assam, which is east of India, in Kashmir, which is north of India, and in tough places in Africa, like Nigeria, Congo, very, very tough, but very exciting, very gratifying for me and my team. So that was second. And then third experience, as I can say, building large-scale solar plants. The first plant we built was nearly 450 megawatt, which was at that time number 4 in the world. And we did it in record time, and we actually saved 51 days, which was not easy, which was very tough, because our planning was great by the team. We planned for all the critical path issues. So, I mean, these are 3. There are many others which really gave me a lot of personal and professional satisfaction.
Great. You know, with our editorial board team, we thought very long about the first question that we need to ask you, because 42 years, right? We cannot make a summary of all this experience, but within our question, we will try to at least dig sometimes in some parts more and more, because we are very curious to learn from such experience and also a vision about this future. So let's now go to some time, very early time, which is January 2020. In January 2020, the news of most important media, not only in India, but in the world, shared your appointment as the country head of SoftBank India, which is the SoftBank Group International, very known one. Can you share with us your mission today within this great position in India, and how looks a typical week in such role?
So this is not an operating role, let me clarify. So I don't operate day-to-day business, which I've been doing for the last 30, 35 years. This is more a support role. We have more than 20 portfolio companies in India. I support the founders and CEOs and the leadership teams of many, many issues of scale up, because they feel constrained in scaling up, and their scaling up mission is 10x, 20x. It's not 2x or 3x. So help them. There are many government issues, regulation issues, which they have to overcome, approvals. They also have issues of scaling up, how complexity goes up as the scale up happens, how leadership team needs to be also scaled up alongside. So many, many issues which founders and CEOs raised, I support them professionally and sometimes personally, because some of them also need balance in life, balance in career, because they're so passionate and they're so hungry to succeed. And I help them personally to balance so that they don't burn out. They really do a much better job. They are calm through ups and downs. So it's a great experience of building up future leaders, future founders, future CEOs also, not only for India but global markets.
So I will, as I said before, this is an authentic and a casual conversation. So I will have a lot of, let's say, spontaneous questions. So one of my questions now that it comes to at the top of my mind is that when we have to support future leaders, future CEO, what are the, let's say, the quality or the characteristic that you are here to empower and or to find in the future CEO, let's say, or a future leader?
So basically, these young leaders are very bright people, let me tell you. They're very bright, well-educated, understand technology, passionate, and they're hungry to grow, hungry to do well. The only thing which they need support is complexity, to overcome the complexity of scale-up, which they don't experience. They don't have experience in the past, because they're all young people. Somebody is 27, somebody is 30, somebody is 32. So they don't have that experience of building a very large business, very large multi-country business, which is worth billions and billions of dollars. So that support and help they need, and it has to be done in a very light touch way, because frankly, as all youngsters are, as all young people are there, if you try to push your point, they really don't appreciate it. They appreciate if you make positive suggestions. They appreciate if you give logic behind what you are trying to say, and once they appreciate, they will accept your idea and they will do it. Now, the qualities which I am trying to build is one, that courage of conviction. That is very important. If you have courage of conviction, then do it. Don't hesitate. Just that, and analyze more data so that your decision making generally goes right. 100% decisions can't be right, but majority, maybe 90% decisions should be right. A few decisions may have to be changed later, that's fine. But so courage of conviction with data analysis is important. Second thing is resilience. They will definitely go up and down. Business will go up and down. Business this month is not good. Next month is very good. Next month, pandemic happens. Next month, the there's a global chip shortage. Then there's a Suez Canal blockage. So many things will happen which you really can't predict. But you need to build your resilience. You need to build your deep planning. You need to make backup plans. You need to be calm during such events, and see where you could have done better. You could have planned better, and maybe next time you will do it. You learn from this. And the third issue is how you empower your team, how you choose the right people, how you, and I always tell them, I said, you need to get the right people on the bus, right people on the right seats, and wrong people off the bus. And by wrong people, I don't mean people are bad. I just mean that they may not be appropriate. They may not be suitable for this kind of a role or this kind of company. Maybe they're very suitable for some other company. So to take important people decisions and support the people, empower them to do a great job. So these are the things which, once you help them, they really excel. They do much, much better. And they understand that how complexity of scale up from 1x to 5x to 10x to 20x, how complexity has to be tackled, how they have to manage it as a win-win, so that during that management of complexity, there's no negative side effect. You do it in a positive way. You do it in a way that all the stakeholders are happy and satisfied. So that's where I support them.
I have one more question coming from my mind now, another one. Can we say for someone who have more than 45, 50 years, it's not time to be, to thrive, to be a leader or to be a CEO because it's, let's say, too late? Can we, from your experience, I thought that I'm really convinced that you see a wide range of people who even very at some age they start and it works. Can we say to some of them it's too late for you, or for someone's 2025 is the right time, otherwise it will not work?
Actually, it's not about age, it's about mind. It's about mind and your attitude. Age could be 25, age could be 55. It doesn't matter. I believe it's your mind. How good is your mind? How you think smartly? What is your attitude? Is your attitude positive? Because attitude is your altitude. And if that is right at 25, I think CEO is ready. If that is right at 50, that is also okay. The point is that every CEO, even if he or she has the right attitude, right capabilities, still he or she will have some weakness. So the role which we play, either at the board or as a coach or a mentor, is that weakness has to be plugged. For example, a CEO, just to give you an example, may not be very bright in finance. So therefore, it's very important that we support him with a very high quality CFO. Now, if we support him high quality CFO, all the key financial decisions are really taken by the CFO, and CEO's weakness is well covered. So this is a very important strategy I follow, that wherever I see a bit of weakness, I support them, I guide them, I suggest to them that, this function you may like to have a very high quality colleague who is experienced, knowledgeable, and who will help you take great decisions. And if that happens, then the CEO is very, very confident, because even in his weak area, he's got a solid support.
Great. So we moved to the topic 2, which is the key of success in business. Previously, you were the executive chairman of SoftBank Energy, a pioneer in India's renewable energy industry, and CEO of Bharti Airtel, as I said before, which is the 3rd largest mobile company in the world, with over 400 million customers. With such incredible experience in business at larger scale, and you speak about larger scale, we're curious to know more about the main key of success in business.
No, I think, for example, let me take example of Airtel. One is that the mission, the purpose has to be very, very clear. It has to be a profound purpose. It has to be a very strong mission. And that mission and purpose has to be communicated up to the bottom of the organization. Everyone. I remember at one time we had 27,000 employees, and we had more than 100,000 indirect employees in various partners. And we tried our best by over communicating the mission so that everyone knows what to do, where to go, which direction, how fast. So that is the first thing. Then in particular case of Airtel, we had three other key success factors. Number one, our business model was very unique. We built an outsourcing model, which was later replicated by many other telcos across the world. And that was critical for us to scale up fast, not only scale up fast, to also bring down our cost structure so that we can offer affordable tariffs to our customers. Second was to build an admired brand. And we built Airtel from ground zero up to becoming -- brand of the country. And that experience, that journey of building an admired brand was very, very high quality. It was a fantastic journey where you nurture an emotional connect of the citizens with your brand. And I'm really proud of that. Third aspect was to build a passionate work culture. Open, flexible, transparent, passionate work culture, where every employee is the owner of the company, is the owner of the goals and objectives. Every employee says, I am Airtel. I want to do my best for the company. I may not own the shares of the company, but still I own it. I love it. I would like to do my best for it. And we empowered all the employees, we respected all the employees, we supported them with resources, budgets, etc., etc. And the magic was done. So these were the 3-4 key success factors I followed.
Almost of them are about people. Almost of these key of success are about people. Impressive. So this is why I think we will talk about digital transformation later, but this is why in digital transformation, it's all about people as well. Mission, purpose, and people, right?
Absolutely. It is the people who make the success of the company. And if you don't leverage that model, that resource, then it's very difficult. I mean, you may have the best technology in the world.
Yeah.
You may have the best government support. You may have the best, or let's say, so as to say, low competition. You may have all factors on your side, but if people are not properly motivated, if they are not engaged, and they are not given proper guidance on which direction to go, very difficult to achieve goals.
In a recent talk, you shared the main axes for startups to gain in performance. One of them is that attract our attention. You name it, inculcate a higher performance work culture. And I think that you start talking about this part now within your answer. Can you clarify your thought in this context, and what are your advices for startup, particularly to achieve success?
So today, let me tell you, startups, we hear a lot of good stories, we hear a lot of success stories, but that, mind you, that is just maybe 10% or 20% of the total. Mm-hmm. Balance, 80% or more don't succeed. We only hear the success stories, we don't hear the other stories.
Yeah.
So to that extent, startups are tough. I mean, it's not easy. Therefore, the founders and the CEOs have a very special role, have a very special leadership role of getting the right product, getting the right market, sizing the market properly, getting the right technology, getting the right business model which is profitable, getting the right brand, which is very, very high quality, and of course, LTC, leadership, talent, and culture. So LTC is a very important job of a founder. He needs to get right leaders under him, right support leaders, right kind of talent across the organization, which is high quality, and finally the open and flexible culture. Now, I feel that today the startups of India and some Indians have gone to West Coast in US and they have initiated very high quality startups. They are doing well because there is no hunger to succeed. And that hunger to succeed comes from small and medium towns in India. The young people who are coming up, they are very, very passionate. They are very hungry to succeed, do well. They understand technology, they understand software, they understand coding, they understand AI and machine learning. So I think very, very high quality youngsters are coming. Now, another thing which has happened is that a lot of Indian startups are looking at India market, which is very large, but also looking at global market, which means that they have already gone to many markets in North America, in Europe, in Asia Pacific, Middle East, etc., etc. And that is building huge confidence in them. Now, but the real thing is that the talent they have is millennial talent, average age 27 years, very focused on the purpose of the company, very focused on new learning in the company, very focused on linking their own success with the success of the company. So I think if the founders and the CEO are able to manage these aspirations of the millennial talent, then startup success becomes nearly assured. I'm not saying it is guaranteed, but it is very, very assured, because talent will then help you achieve the success with their great passion.
As a mentor, I was invited last year in Techstar to be a mentor for startup leaders, and some of them comes from India, which is amazing, and even Democracy Lab in Seattle as well. So many startups from India, but locally from India, not in the West, also locally from India. And it's amazing to see the passion and the willing to thrive. The willing to thrive is amazing. But I have a question in this part. Some of the startup leaders or founders, let's say like this, talk about funding. And some of them, they relate their success to the funding. If there is no funding, probably I will not succeed. From my perspective, is not only about this, but I'm here to listen to your experience. What do you think about this correlation that some founders create and put it as a premise to their success?
Okay, funding is important for all entrepreneurs. I don't think without funding, entrepreneurs can scale up the business to a large business. That is very clear. But funding comes only to a product which is well accepted by the customers, a business model which is profitable, a technology-oriented startup where technology is fully utilized, and finally, most importantly, which has a leadership team to execute the mission. Because finally, it is about execution. So if these are the 3-4 key factors which are available, then funding will not be far behind. Let me tell you, funding will come if these factors are in place. So the entrepreneurs have to ensure that these 4 or 5 factors have to be in place before he or she goes for funding or goes for large funding. Small funding is easier, large funding is more difficult. So I feel that many entrepreneurs are learning this way of attracting funding, and I'm very happy that these youngsters at the age of 27 25, less than 30 are able to do all this.
So now we will jump on the third topic, named Indian Economy Horizon 2030. So 2020 was a year of pandemic and uncertainty, and many countries are struggling in such times. How you perceive the economic situation in India so far?
So pandemic was not good for the world and not good for India. I think last financial year, India had a negative GDP. But I am very happy to share that already the economic recovery is on the way. And by now, now we are in April, so new financial year has started. This financial year, there is an estimate by World Bank and other global institutions that India's GDP will be double-digit growth. Someone is saying 11%, somebody is saying 12%, whatever it is, but it is double-digit growth, which is very important. We recover from the losses of last year. And but the recovery is good. Already, for example, the power generation and consumption is at record levels. The vaccination has started, but the second wave has also started. And I hope if vaccination picks up, we are doing nearly 4 million vaccinations a day now.
Yeah.
Which still is small. We have to do better than this. So if vaccination picks up very well in the next 3-4 months, I think the second wave can also be controlled and the economic recovery will be expedited. So that is this year. But overall, government has understood that the way to come out of this situation is to make long-term investments in few critical sectors like infrastructure. There are projects of $1.4 trillion which have been identified by Government of India, and government will fund it partially. Private funding will happen, international funding will happen. Secondly, manufacturing sector is being encouraged in a very dramatic way by 10 or 12 PLI, production-linked incentive schemes being initiated by government. Third, area of pharmaceutical is being encouraged a lot because India is already good at pharmaceuticals. We make 60% of global vaccines, but still we can do better. So that is one area which I think is, and then is the area of education, is the area of defense production, is the area of renewable energy, and of course, digitization of various businesses. And finally, most importantly, agriculture, because our agriculture production is excellent today. We feed 1.3 billion people and we export a lot of food items, but our productivity is low. Therefore, we need to mechanize it. We need to bring in a lot of technology into agriculture and also initiate food processing plants. So with these plans underway and a lot of international investment coming in, because some sectors have been opened up more than past. For example, insurance sector has been opened up, defense sector has been opened up. These were earlier maybe less than 50% foreign investment. Now it is more than 50%. So a lot of international investment will be attracted. So I believe that all this will lead to at least 7 to 8% average GDP growth in the next 5 to 10 years. And if that happens, going to our goal of 5 trillion economy is definitely be achieved. Now, maybe by 25, maybe by 26. It's very difficult to predict today because of uncertainty of pandemic. But the point I'm making is this will be a good decade for Indian economy. And alongside, if we are seeing hungry entrepreneurs of startups, that actually adds a lot of value to the economic growth.
You speak about investment, international investment, that it comes massively to India without going in confidential aspect, but from which part of the world it's the most part of investment that is very is coming to India?
No, many parts of the world. I think India has great relationships. US, Japan, Korea, EU, Australia, and many other countries. I think investments are coming from all over the world. Our relationships, luckily, with our respected Prime Minister, relationships have actually improved a lot in the last 5-7 years. So now global investors have higher confidence in success of Indian economy, and also that the consumption levels, and India is more consumption based economy, not an export based economy. So that's a very big difference in many countries and India. India is more domestic consumption. So I think the consumption is picking up well. Recovery from last year is good. And I think as the vaccination picks up, I believe the recovery will be much better in the second half of the year.
Great. So now let's talk about technology. We highlighted very quick. Now we will go and dig more deeply on it. Artificial intelligence is a powerful technology that is improving significantly the productivity and customer satisfaction. What's your perspective of the role of technology such as robotic AI, virtual reality, and many others to shape this new future of India?
No, it's very clear the last 5 to 10 years, our lives have changed by technology. From the time we wake up in the morning till we sleep, everything is different now. I mean, look at last 1 year. Despite such a huge pandemic all over the world, people are still connected over Zoom and over many other technologies. And for example, telecom sector itself has been fantastic. I mean, they've been giving so much capacity over fiber optics, over spectrum to all over the world. And I would like to applaud the telecom sector. I mean, all what we are doing now during lockdowns, etc., is thanks to telecom sector. So technology has moved a lot. It is very clear that in the next 5 to 10 years, technology will have a bigger impact on human life. And that is why it is very clear that AI, machine learning, robots, drones, so many other technologies which are building up will be great for our future. Now, it helps life becomes easier for people. It helps productivity to improve dramatically. It helps a lot of jobs which are routine jobs be done by robots, etc., etc. Now, some people, of course, have questions that will the employment not come down? Now, this was the question I remember in India was being asked when all the banks got computerized. And there was a feeling that, a lot of people may lose jobs. Actually, many more people have got jobs in the banks and in related financial institutions in the last 20 years. Most importantly, I think for India, India has emerged as a leader in the last 20 years in IT, in software development, in BPOs, in back offices, operational offices, back offices for all over the world. And I think that's been a very, very good momentum in the area of technology. But now in the next 10 years or 20 years, I believe Indian talent will emerge much more in the technology areas, more investment in R&D, more software development, more focus on AI, and making customers' life easy and convenient. So I feel that Indian talent will really contribute much more to technology in the coming decade.
Now let's go and have an overview about the world from a perspective of economic. How you perceive the economy from a general perspective, and what are the main concerns about the post-COVID-19, whether it's about society, education, economy, but from outside of India in the world?
So I'm not an economist, but I can generally say that this pandemic has left the world with many, many good learnings. I think economies, because they went into negative last year, now they're trying to come back to positive. So there is a learning that we have to be frugal. Frugality is a very big learning of the world, entire world. That wastage has to stop. Focus has to be on higher efficiency, higher productivity, so that really we live a better life, more fruitful, more happy life. The second issue is that there will be events. As I said, pandemic is an event. This Suez Canal stoppage for a week was an event nobody anticipated. Chip shortage for automotive industry is an event which nobody anticipated. And such events, more such events will happen. But overall, we are seeing a constant disruption in the economic or business areas, led by technology, led by regulation, led by very intense competition. So the world has to be ready economically for these constant disruptions. And companies who will be able to proactively deal with these disruptions will win. And companies who are not able to deal with these disruptions proactively will struggle. So I believe the global economy will take a new turn towards such winners and such strugglers. But I feel that global economy will definitely come back this year, later part of this year, and start doing much more because of higher productivity, higher efficiency, more frugality, less wastage, which is good for the world.
Right. In our podcast, we create a new concept named Share the Stage, where we open for our audience and invite them to ask you some questions. So we pick up 2 questions today. The first question is coming from James. He has 26 years from Toronto, and he asked it. The future is mainly about technology. Does it mean that many areas of study will be replaced or removed in the future, and only tech area will be kept?
No, that is not the meaning of technology. The meaning of technology is that in every industry, whether it's agriculture, whether it is energy, power sector, whether it is telephony, every industry, every sector will have a very strong technology injection. So the technologies we have been using in the last 50 years will change dramatically. For example, in telecom, 2G went to 3G, 3G went to 4G, now 5G is coming in. Technology is changing, it's evolving, speed is increasing. So the same thing will happen in every sector. So not that every sector will only be tech-based. I mean, every sector will need supply chain management, finance management, people management. All these are non-technology areas. So I feel that the management remains very, very function by function in the same way, but technology progress will be faster.
The second question is coming from Atiya. She has 29 years and she's from Bangalore. She asked it. When I listen to the news, I feel that almost all jobs will be automated in few years, and I need to start urgently on considering new career paths around technology. The World Economic Forum is predicting more than 133 million new jobs in 2030. My question is, how ready are we in India, either for private or public sectors?
So this is a very important question, because retraining, upskilling, cross-skilling is becoming much more important now.